Detective publishes book exposing high-level government pedophile ring, shot in the head days later. Now, just remember, if those two things aren't linked, you're a conspiracy theorist. Alright? There's no way him publishing a book exposing high-level government pedophile rings and being killed a couple of days later have absolutely nothing in common at all. Okay? And if I get shot in the head in a couple of days, you know why. By the way, I really want to get a copy of this book now. But anyway. A former police detective and author of the bombshell book that exposed the massive pedophile ring made up at high-level government officials was found shot in the head last week. While officers are calling it an apparent suicide. Really? That meme never seems to fail, does it? His family is claiming that he told them he would never kill himself and that people were after him because he was about to expose even more high-level government pedophilia. Yeah, I kind of believe him, actually, to be honest. But anyway. By the way, guys, I do not believe in suicide. Just putting that out there. If I ever do commit suicide, it's a load of crock. I do not believe in suicide. I have gone through some serious shit in my life and I'm still here now. There is nothing I can go through that would ever make me want to kill myself. Alright? And someone, please record that part because if something ever happens. But anyway. Mark Mine, the author of the controversial book The Lost Boys of Bird Island, which I want to buy a copy of, devoted his post-police life to exposing the corruption and horrifying pedophilia he discovered while working as a detective. Miney and his good friend Chris Stein, who's probably also had a tragic accident, also a former cop turned investigative journalist, worked together on the book to expose government and business communities who took children to Bird Island where they were abused and possibly murdered. The book details the level of their involvement in the pedophile ring, abuse of children, and alleged acts of murder to cover up the crime, as well as the corruption and abuse of high-level state resources by the network's members. The book details the corruption within the last apartheid government of South Africa and implicates officials all the way to the top, including Defence Minister Mangus Allen and Minister of Environmental Affairs John Willey. Before his death, Minnie announced that he was approached by many more people with even more damning evidence, which he planned to reveal in the sequel to the book. However, he died before he could finish it. The book was published early this month on August 5th, and only 9 days later, Manny would be found dead. Officials claim they found a suicide note at the scene, but his family says they don't believe it at all. Now, I might be mispronouncing Dido, whatever. A family member of Manny told reporters that just days before he died, that if anything happened to him, they must know he was killed. Quote, he mentioned to us all the time that his life was in danger, and if anything did happen to him, we must know that it was done to him, not by himself, he said. Dudu says that Minnie was being watched and feared for his life because he had more information on which it would have exposed even more people. Quote, I knew about the book for many years. I knew what he had been through. It really played him, and he had seen and been involved with the investigation surrounding the book, Dudu told SABC. Dudu came forward on her own after she saw the suicide narrative being played out in the media. She said she was compelled to do so to dispel the myths. Quote, Mark was not a coward. Mark faced life head on, she said. There was no way that I or any of us believed that he would have opted out, and this is why I agreed to do the interview, to dispel any thoughts and rumours of suicide. He was not the type of man that was cowardly and that would do something like that. As for the note police allegedly found next to Minnie's body, Dudu believes it's either fake or was written under duress. Probably be fake. It's easy to fake signatures and stuff like that, so yeah. Quote, I have seen this from the beginning. I suppose the suicide note was either written under duress or I would like to see it before I will believe it was written by Mark, she said. In the case, it's eerily similar to the man who was allegedly murdered in Lithuania after he began exposing high-level government pedophiles. It's weird how these people that expose high-level pedophilia just always seem to die. It's, you know, it's just weird, this, isn't it? It really does boggle the brain. But anyway. As TFTP previously reported, teenager refugee from Lithuania came forward last year with a White House petition and damning testimony showing what happened after his family tried to expose a little girl's abusers. When his 4-year-old cousin accused 2 high-level government officials, describing it in heartbreaking detail, Kosovo Vikini, might be mispronouncing that name, learnt the hard way how the government protects its vile members, up to and including using hundreds of militarized police and even murder. As Vikini explained in his petition on whitehouse.gov, the nightmare started when their family attempted to seek justice for the sick man who allegedly raped his 4-year-old cousin. In 2008, a 4-year-old Dmitry Katini, might be mispronouncing, described her sexual assault by high-level Lithuanian officials. Her testimony was later verified as true by 4 separate commissions. She never had her day in court, Vikini wrote. When the teen's uncle, Tekeni's, I might be mispronouncing, Didimi's father pushed for the men to be prosecuted for what they did to his daughter, he was murdered. I tell you what, there's a lot of dead bodies racking up around this, isn't there? It's just, you know, it really sort of does make you wonder, doesn't it? If Minnie was actually murdered, hopefully the information he was planning on releasing still comes forward, and I definitely would suggest releasing that half-finished book. The only way to stop these vile actors is to shine light into the darkness. While Minnie has been silenced, his work can live on and be brought to the lights. Now guys, we do actually have that video for you now, that interview. It does go for about 3 minutes. But we're going to put it in because I think it adds context, so let's play that and then we'll do the wrap up.
Well, of course, in that exclusive story, the SABC can tell you that, of course, our reporter Jade Lee-Porser has come up with an exclusive for us. A relative of the late co-author of the controversial book, The Lost Boys of Bird Island, Mark Minnie, has dispelled any thoughts of his apparent suicide, saying that the family believed Minnie was assassinated. The controversial book, which was published last week, reveals a shocking expose of an official cover-up of a paedophile ring involving former Minister of Defence Magnus Malan and 3 other National Party cabinet members.
The gun found lying next to author Mark Minnie's body is said to belong to his friend and former police colleague Brent Barnes. A suicide note was also found at the Thiescombe small holding where he was staying. But family members say Minnie told them days before he died that if anything happened to him, they must know he was killed.
He has been mentioning it to us for quite a long time. I spoke to a couple of my cousins today, and to all of them he expressed that his life was in danger, and that if anything did happen to him, we must know that it was done to him, not by himself.
Before his death, Minnie was approached by many people with more damning evidence, which he planned to reveal in a follow-up book. Dodo believes more prominent individuals would have been named. She says he feared for his life, telling friends and family he was being watched.
And I knew about the book for many years, and I also knew about what he'd been through. It really plagued him that he had seen and been involved with the investigation surrounding the book. Books, I could actually say, because there is further information. Mark was not a coward. Mark faced life head on. There is no ways that I or any of us believe that he would have opted out. And that is why I've actually agreed to do this interview, to dispel any thoughts and rumours that this could have been a suicide. He wasn't the type of man that was cowardly and that would do something like that. His love for his family and his friends and his colleagues that he worked with it wouldn't have been right. It wouldn't have been right for the man that Mark was.
The family also believes the suicide note was staged.
I've said that from the very beginning. This supposed suicide note was either written under duress, and I would like to see it before I will believe that it was written by Mark.
Police say if foul play is evident in the case, the docket will change to murder. I'm Jade Lee-Paulser for SABC News in Port Elizabeth.
Look, at the end of the day, do I believe he was killed? Yes. Yeah, definitely killed. Look, that would be my view. Yes, he was silenced. He's obviously got really close to the truth when he wrote his first book, The Lost Boys of Bird Island. By the way, everybody should go and buy that and read it, because that way, at the very least, you know, he can get an interesting idea of what was going on, I suppose. But at the end of the day, I think he got really close to the truth when he released his first book, and the second book that he put out, or he was working on, I think he got a lot closer to the powers that be than they wanted to. And with him going through, and they're like, okay, he got really close the first time. This second book is going to imprecate us. We need to silence this guy. And yeah, I believe 100% that he was shot. He was killed. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we probably will never know what happened to him. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of dead bodies that wind up around politicians in there, you know. So that's rich. Sorry. A little bit of sauce right there. But yeah, I was going to say, look, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you believe at the end of the day that he was killed? Do you believe it was suicide? Do you believe he might have got too close to the truth? Or do you think he was just depressed from what he learned out from the first book? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.